Welcome back to Stocklabs for another market recap. We are through the second week of December, and it was kind of an uneventful week for the market overall. I mean, started out down a little bit, I think, on Monday, and then kind of just meandered around, sort of walked higher, closed at the highs of the week, but the gains were only sort of like fractional, at least at the index level. We had the Qs up 0.6. S&P was up 0.25%. The Dow was flat, up 4 basis points, and IWM was up 1%. So that was a decent week for the Russell. Bonds had another good week, up 1.7%. They've kind of been on a march since the so-called Fed pivot, and crude got hit 4% this week, which is kind of continuing the trend from recent weeks. Gold also was down. I think gold hit a high of around 21, I think like 21.50, 21.60, somewhere around there per ounce in an overnight session, and then went straight down from there, dropped almost like $150, and is sort of hovering up like a little over 2,000 now. So, big sort of, I mean, it looked like a breakout, turned into kind of a little bit of a rejection, but I mean, overall, I guess it still looks okay, but, a lot of people excited at that, those overnight prints, by the time the morning came, it wasn't even there anymore. So, yeah. If we look at the mega caps, our leaders, they had a good week. So just about all the NASDAQ performance, which was up 0.6 or whatever it was, came from this group right here. So Meta was up 2.5%. Google was up to almost 0.5%. Apple was up 2.35. Tesla was up 2. Nvidia was up 1.6. Amazon only up 0.3, and Microsoft was flat, down 6 basis points. So you see, like, at least these top four here really outperformed what the NASDAQ did. Google had that video that they put out of Gemini, their AI, that was sort of at first passed off like a live demo, but then everyone sort of found out that it was kind of fake. I mean, not totally fake, but it is a little misleading the way the video is set up, and the capabilities are impressive, but they're not what they seem to be on the surface. So yeah, I mean, Google's still up 2.5% on the week. That was just a little piece of news from that. And if we look at breadth by industry, you see very flat-ish across the board. I mean, slight positive skew on a lot of these. Tech was fractionally down. Services fractionally down. Materials, big underperformer, down 3.3%. Utilities slightly better than the other. Or utilities was up 0.4. Industrials were up 0.6. So those were, I guess you could say they were in line with the market. The rest kind of lagged. And on subsectors, we don't really have a whole lot that's really busting loose, obviously, because the market didn't go anywhere this week. But you see some of these themes like construction, home stuff. These have actually been on a run for a while. If you look at like the home builders, they've been on an absolute tear. Even airlines were up this week, which are sort of like just garbage businesses. But on the downside, we have some precious metals. Silver and gold got hit hard. Obviously, I mentioned gold was down on the week. We've got some oil and gas stuff, oil and gas. So, I mean, there's not really a whole lot here, like dramatically down, but the only stuff that is really notable on the loser board is, the precious metals and some of the oil and gas stuff. If we look at breadth by market cap, see, 1 to 5 billion. He's up 83 basis points. Got 5 to 10 billion. Only up 15 basis points. Pretty soft. 10 to 50 billion. Down 10 basis points. 50 to 100 billion. Down 40 basis points. And TerraCaps down 10 basis points. So a lot of these are negative. A lot of these cohorts are negative. Actually, if we take all these, flat, dead flat, slightly up if we include the 1 to 5 billion. But, like I mentioned, a lot of the performance came from the sort of the big winners from this year so far. So they always come in to carry the load when the rest of the market is just not doing anything. So good for them. This week, intelligence is looking for upside in FANG. This is a bear gold miners ETF, so bearish gold miners, and Tesla bullish. Not a whole lot here to choose from, but that's the short of it. If we look at the inverse, there's also not a lot to pick from here. We've got VIX bearish. VIX has been bearish, I think, all year. Stocklabs has been saying that, there's nothing there for the VIX, and there hasn't been. So, Stocklabs just maintaining that. And we've got Mexico bull shares are bearish. So if you're out there trading Mexico, bear bias. And if we look at, let's see. So we had this overbought signal right at the beginning of December. We kind of have chopped around or whatever. We're near the high end of the range here. The breadth was weak last week. I think, honestly, you're going to get a pullback this week probably. I'm not seeing like an imminent breakout in the market. I mean, it could happen, but I think just, the market is a little bit tired up 5-6 weeks in a row. So, you kind of do is just pull back a little bit, consolidate, and then press on higher. So, I wouldn't be looking to do anything too drastic this week. I think probably most people are going to be shutting down their trading operations pretty soon for the holiday season. And, this might be the last week anybody takes anything off or, does any tax loss selling type stuff. So maybe you get some movement on those sorts of things. I think there's also some, is there a Fed meeting this week? There might actually be a Fed meeting this week. I don't know. We'll look out for that. Other than that, not too much. Taking it easy into the holidays, and I'll be back next week to see how everything went, and good luck out there. So talk to you later. Bye.